Because of the atrocities of Britain in Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu placed a curse and made a prophecy. He said that Britain, the United Kingdom, would self-destruct. The same Muslim Brotherhood, an extremist Islamic group, is destroying Britain, the United Kingdom, today. I tell you, the prophecies of Nnamdi Kanu is coming to pass. Britain forcefully lumped everybody in Nigeria today. It was a forceful union. How many people were consulted before we were all amalgamated? Now, to divide becomes a Herculean task. Britain, because of its selfish reasons, have to abrogate power to the North. They know that the North are useful tools, and they gave rise to Islamic extremism and fundamentalism in Nigeria. That's why you see the Fulani having an upper hand in the reins of government. Britain supported this. Britain supported Nigeria against Biafra, whereby we saw millions of Biafrans were killed, and some unfortunate individuals were asking, where are the bodies? Britain's atrocities in West Africa, and especially in Nigeria, is something that the Biafrans will never forgive. And this is a prophecy from Nnamdi Kanu saying that the thing that Britain is supporting in Nigeria would eventually destroy them. Today, that prophecy is coming to pass. What is happening to Britain? What is happening to Britain? When you look at this Twitter handle, Amjad Taha, look at it very well. Amjad Taha, he says, Islamic terrorists, we ban them. He's talking to the United Kingdom, the British. He said, Islamic terrorists in the United Arab Emirates, in Dubai, a Muslim country. He says, we in Dubai, we ban Islamic terrorists. You welcome them. So the UK, when United Arab Emirates ban terrorists in their country, UK now welcome them, because there's a curse, there's a prophecy from a young man that wanted to liberate his people, and that prophecy is working. The same man is in detention. The same man is incarcerated in DSS custody. Let me read other parts of what this young man from the United Arab Emirates says. He says, read it very well. The UAE has banned the Muslim Brotherhood because we recognize them for what they truly are, breeders of extremism, the roots from which Hamas, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS emerged. How many more warnings will it take before you stop prioritizing political correctness over your people's safety? He's talking to the UK, a Dubai man, an Arab, a Muslim, saying that they sent away the Muslim Brotherhood, the same Muslim Brotherhood that caused crisis in Egypt. Now, a terrorist in the West is a terrorist in the East, North and South. Do not make him a property seller or an educator. An advice from a fellow Muslim to the British, a UK citizens, an Oyibo, a Muslim is advising an Oyibo. These people were Muslims in our country. We ban them because we know that they are breeders of extremism. That is why in Nigeria today, anything that has to do with any group whatsoever that breeds extremism must be banned and cut off. This is a full Muslim country advising the UK that wants to be politically correct, advising them that you need to cut these guys off. We ban them and we send them out of the country. It's not like being politically correct, while some people want to bring Sharia in Oyo State and they tell you that and this and this and that or this or this. Start explaining front and back. That is not going to affect. A Muslim country is sending out these guys that breed extremism. It says a terrorist in the West is a terrorist in the East, North and South. Have you heard it? Look at the Twitter handle again. Amjad Taha. Follow this guy. He's a Dubai politician. Follow this guy and so many other persons. I don't even need to start coming to impress you. So many other people have been speaking about this. Go and see what Dubai is today. Dubai, because of the kind of Islam they practice, it is one of the most safest Arab countries in the world. Even in the UK, some people prefer to live in Dubai than in the UK because of how politically correct these UK people want to become and the atrocities they have committed on Biafran people. That is why Nigeria as a country today will see some of the elements in the reins of power. See the Muslim ticket. See the ideology behind the Muslim ticket. Some of these northern clerics, they were pushing for a Muslim ticket, something that they will not accept if it were a Christian ticket. Look at the deceit, the manipulation, and the hypocrisy of some of these guys. These are the people you carry power and put in their hands. See how Fulani were running rampage left, right, center under a Buhari administration. The Miyetti Allah leader was like a demigod with so many convoys. Look at how farms were being ravaged without any form of justice. People were killed, Sarah, like that. Look at how they were complaining down the Middle Belt that the soldiers, there was an incident, I think in Benue State, the soldiers were shielding terrorists. There was an alleged incident, even in the southeast. The soldiers were shielding the herders. They claimed that the herders were harmless. Whilst the killings going on, even till yesterday in Imo State, these herders are committing atrocities because you Igbos, we leave our homeland, we desert our homelands. These Fulani herders, they see it as an opportunity to go and occupy the forest because they know that Igbos want to always travel. They leave their homeland. We just have fine houses, many bushes. No, the old men and women are there, very few young people. So these Fulani, with their influence and whatever, they go to your chief that has nothing to do. They give chief money or your king money. King abrogate a particular land and tell them, don't cause trouble, oh. Like that one that was given in Badagry, the Fulani that was coronated in Badagry. Don't cause trouble, oh. That is how it starts. How did Afonja and Alimi, how did their story go through? They pretended that they were for Afonja. At the end of the day, things were out of hand. Where there is Islamic extremism, there is always a motive. Whether it will take 100 years, one day they will clamp down on you. This has been proven through history. Igbo people, you live and desert your villages, and these guys go there and take advantage of the fact that it is old men and women and very few people that go to farm, and one thing or two things happen. We start hearing in the news. Thank God that Tinubu got into power. How come things went from 100, it went to 30%, the killings. But only in the north we see them grappling with, because you accepted these extremists. Yes, UAE sent them away, but the northern elders and the northern governors and the northern politicians saw it like they are our brothers. Buhari said they are our brothers. You brought in extremists into the country, and you think you are okay. After bringing them in because you want to chase Jonathan away, and you think you are okay. Erufa, you think by being politically correct, you brought so much trouble to Nigeria that we have to spend billions upon billions of southern money. I've said it before. What Nigeria is living on is oil. And where do you get this oil from? It's from the south and from Lagos. What Nigeria live on is oil. The VAT we get is from the south. The highest VAT and oil that sustains the country is from the south. And you all invite all manner of brotherhood. Are you more Muslim than the United Arab Emirates? Do you understand Islam than them? That they had to chase away the Muslim Brotherhood in their country. Does that not leave you with you go and ponder on this statement? This is not me writing this. This is not me writing it. When I read this tweet, when I read this information, I shook my head. And some of these people that are bringing Sharia into the country would not understand that there is something they lace it with. Sharia might have a good intention of bringing morality. I understand. Morally, as a Christian, when you look at some of the provisions of Sharia, it brings sanity and morality into a society. But for the fact that you refuse to, it is a forceful way of trying to force people through manipulation, through enacting laws, through using style from the background to make sure that you cage people and force them to join. No. And killing, no, we don't support such. Extremism, no. Sharia might be good, but extremism and hypocrisy, no. Sharia is Sharia only for the poor? Because I've not seen any of your northern governors and politicians that are Muslims and your clerics that have been tried by Sharia. That means Sharia is hypocritical. It is a tool to permeate and also to find expressing Islam through the back door. How many of your politicians, how many of your leaders have been tried through Sharia? How many? Yahya Bello of recent, he's a Muslim. Do you know how many things, atrocities have been committed by Buhari government? Can you people go and try Buhari? Many things, let's not talk. Let's move on. Now, a terrorist in the West is a terrorist in the East, North, and South. But yet, northern politicians, they don't want to solve the issue of terrorism. I've said it. I don't even care what happens in North again. Since these guys believe that Nigerians are fools, and every time a Southern president comes up, when Jonathan was president, a new group was created. Now, Tinubu is president. Is it Lakurawa? What's their name? Just to destabilize the government, because they believe that these people will not. The reasons why they not even voted for Tinubu because of the Muslim ticket. They thought we were going to foster their agenda, and they believe that a Tinubu is not a real Muslim, because a real Muslim will not marry a Christian. That is according to Islam. Extremist ideologies. Extremes. Now the UK is suffering, and they have to suffer. The UK is almost finished. An inquiry into the child rape gangs by Stemmer, the Prime Minister, the House, 364 or 46 people voted against investigation into the raping of British young girls. Lawmakers in the UK voted against investigation. Those extremists that have been accused of raping British young girls, British lawmakers, Oyibo people, but a mix of some of these Muslims. So Muslims are there. Those Islamic guys are there amongst the Labour Party, Independent Party, and Labour Party. Mostly voted against an inquiry into the rape gangs, the Pakistani that were involved, allegedly, reportedly involved in raping young girls over 10 years. The UK Prime Minister voted against investigation. They were explaining that some of the victims didn't want investigation. They wanted measures that would stop those gangs from operating. No, somebody must be investigated so that it might not repeat itself again in the future. These guys, they come into a society, a place, and they use, I tell you, the same way the Fulani does. They will use, they'll study, become medical doctors, they'll come, they'll buy houses, they'll buy, are sponsored by all those, the Al-Qaeda. Look at what he said. The root, which is Hamas, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. And remember, these terrorist cells are being sponsored by some of these countries, Iran and others that have oil. So they have the oil money. They buy homes and they bring in their people. They buy houses. They don't give it to British. Their people, they form cells. Before you know, there are many. They look for a representative. Before they get a representative, they have, I told you, like a local government, they have more than 10 Muslims that are local government chairman, like mayors in the UK. That's little by little, they enter. Before you know, they are everywhere. You think they are your friend. It is permitted to lie when in Islam. Prove me wrong. If you are a Muslim watching this broadcast, you are permitted to lie when it involves an infidel, an unbeliever. So Muslims can be in your midst. You are a Christian, you are a traditionalist, a Muslim can be in your midst, and he can comfortably lie because his religion tells him to do so, because you are an unbeliever. Is he a kafir? You are a kafir. If you are a Muslim watching this, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So Nnamdi Kanu's prophecy in the United Kingdom is coming to pass. The United Kingdom don't want, you see, I see this pandemic of leadership everywhere. These guys are much more interested in their interest than the interest of the people. Why vote against an inquiry for the excuse that there are other recommendations to stop these cell gangs? No, atrocities have been committed, and those guys that have committed those atrocities must face the law. That is how justice. That is how justice is. But you are trying to cover. These guys, will be difficult for you to uproot them in your system because they are in the parliament. They are in the local government. That is why you don't allow any of them step any foot. You hear what this man said? The UAE banned the Muslim. Send them packing. Send them till tomorrow. Yes, he said the dangerous Islamists who hide behind corporate fronts like Yas for investment and real estates. This guy is saying these dangerous Islamists. So inside Islam, there are people that are dangerous Islamists, but in Nigeria, we see them as our brothers. Allow your brother, they are your brothers. Let them come from the Sahel into the country. As they are coming, Boko Haram is having more members. There are more killings and bombings and suicide bombings and kidnappings. Let them keep coming. That's what our leaders are saying. They hide behind corporate fronts like Yas for Investment and Real Estate Limited and Holdco UK Properties Limited. They are buying properties, displacing citizens, listen, and maybe opening the door for former Al-Qaeda members and illegal immigrants to seize control of your city. This is the best explanation of how these people operate. And you think in the southeast we will allow this happen? We will allow you practice your Islam, but if it's beyond the one they practice in the UAE, because we are studying how UAE practice their Islam, anything extremism, fundamentalist ideology is not allowed. You can practice your Sharia in your family house. Go and reform the Sharia so that the Sharia will not affect any other person. Because the Sharia, it seems that you people are lying to us that if you start up Sharia here, you will not. Look at how this guy is exposing. Is a Muslim, a UAE politician. He says they hide behind corporate fronts. Islamic Bank, Sukuk. I know for the first 10 years, Sukuk has been giving loans without whatever, but there's an influence, always an influence. Nothing goes for nothing. If Sukuk give you loan, they don't collect interest. They have not. Nothing goes for nothing. Just know that this an average fanatic Islamist is manipulative and can lie, because you are unbeliever. In front of an unbeliever, an average Islamic extremist can lie, can manipulate. That is part of what they can do very well. There are many things this guy said. I was just shaking my head. I knew all these things. From young, they tell them, they indoctrinate them that you are better than these white people. You are better than these other unbelievers. Don't let them know and see the hatred you have for them. Conceal the hatred. At the appointed time, strike. That's what they teach them. A lady told us a story. A white lady. His father was Muslim, but he got married to a white woman. He loved the woman so much that he was convinced he had to leave Islam. But because of how Islam treats people that leave Islam, they threatened to kill him. In the UK, they threatened to kill him. He ran away from the UK and went somewhere else. And the guy started exposing to her, told their family, he didn't come to the media. he told their family what Islam is planning for Europe, what they tell themselves in the mosque. Somebody will come and say it's a lie. That's how it happens. Until Deborah, they tell us what concern Deborah's classmate and Deborah. What is the evidence of she blasphemed Allah? She said, my Jesus, I'm not giving thanks to any Muhammad, I'm giving thanks to my Jesus. So they use the excuse of blasphemy. You are in a class group, you got your results, and the results, you are thanking Allah, Muhammad. She said Jesus. You want to force her because he's in Sokoto. This is where Sharia is. So then you now use the guys, a typical Nigerian way and manner of doing things, and accuse her of blasphemy, and you now stone her to death. Nigerian criminal system was looking. They brought in San and everybody to defend the young people. If that happens with the IPOB of Biafra, do you think that this will be the story? Everything has a lace, a handwriting of the Fulani on it. Like Nnamdi Kanu says, let the UK self-destruct, so that every grip, see, Biafra is a thing that is a must. Regionalism that will lead to Biafra. See, what Tinubu is doing restructuring. Eventually, I told my Igbo brothers, because somebody was saying in my last broadcast, say Tinubu has offended the Southeast, he has done this. There's no one way to the farm. I went to a farm when I traveled to the village. There's no one way, my brother, to the farm. There are different ways to the farm. If you think that there's only one way to achieve Biafra, is a lie. There are different ways to the farm. Let's enjoy the ride, because the hands of Chukwu Biama is in this Nigeria of a thing. Nigeria must be liberated. Oduduwa, I don't know how they were, Oduduwa and Biafra, Ijo, whatever. There must be a restructuring. This Fulani, the fundamentalism, their hand must be cut off, because they are the ones that, where they they are the strong-headed people that they are doing do or die politics. What Tinubu is doing, I'm supporting it. I don't support the APC. I don't support some of his policies. So this particular one of him restructuring is the one I'm supporting. And an example of what is happening in the UK, if the South don't take, because it will be very difficult for the UK to chase Wewe. The people are in government, they are with them in the government. Everybody is looking at themselves, watching at themselves in the government, speaking big grammar and big English. At the end of the day, with your big grammar and manipulation, somebody is out there saying we want Sharia, and the rights of the people, the cultural people in the land, the people that own the land, you are telling them you want to impose Sharia. If you run away from somewhere, they ban you from the UAE, and you came with your extremism. My brother, it is time for everybody to rise up. The end may be near.